Hey loves, welcome back. This week in the spiritual update, we're talking about the energy of the healthy warrior archetype. Because sometimes in our culture, the archetype that we end up with is one of force, one of pushing things forward, not really being conscious of divine timing, not necessarily being conscious of our own well-being, but just pushing and forcing to meet certain material or quantified results, and often sacrificing quality in the process, whether it be our own quality of life or the quality of the creativity or the product, whatever it is that we are trying to create. So in understanding healthy warrior energy, we have an opportunity to give ourselves healthy and strong foundation for our creative projects, for our family, for our community, and most importantly, for ourselves. And I say most importantly for ourselves, that sounds so selfish in the culture that we grew up in, but our community is only as strong as the individual is. So if you're able to take care of yourself, be there for yourself, be strong for yourself, then you're going to be much more able to take care of, be there for, and support your community as well. So let's take a look at the energy of building, basically, because Jupiter is in Taurus right now. And Taurus is an energy that has to do with inner as well as outer abundance, your values, but not just your financial values, also your inner values. And Jupiter has to do with vision. This is luck. This is abundance. This is a sign that really has a very positive omen. And so we can take that energy and we can really make use of it if we understand how to use it. Now, Taurus is an energy of building. So creating strong foundation and then allowing our creativity to fill in the blanks, basically. And what we can do to really make use of that energy is to look at, how am I using my gifts? Am I building or am I destroying? Now, Paramhansa Yogananda said, that we have with our words the ability to set vibrations in motion. We can either use our words to create, we can use them to preserve, or we can use them to destroy. And so it's important that we be conscious of, how are we using our words? Are we building? Are we using that Taurus energy to build, or are we accidentally destroying, maybe even building and then self-sabotaging and pulling down what it is that we've created for ourselves? So the opportunity we have here is to really pay attention to how we use our words and what vibration we're actually setting in motion. So the energy of creativity, of course, is going to be one that actually builds. The energy of preservation is going to make sure that what you build actually remains long-standing, remains strong. The energy of destruction can, of course, pull that down or diminish it. But destruction can also be a positive energy, because sometimes we're in situations where we might need to break something down. We might need to let it go. We might need to destroy something. Think about volcanoes. Volcanoes create a lot of destruction, but the earth, the soil that comes after that destruction is incredibly nutritious. It's one of the strongest, most potent versions or aspects of soil that you can possibly have. But first you have to go through the fire to get to that. And so sometimes we do need the energy of destruction, but are we using it constructively, or are we using it in a destructive, negative sense? Do you understand? I hope so. So that's the question that we can ask ourselves. How am I using my energy? Am I creating? Am I preserving? Am I destroying in a constructive manner? Now, Mars is opposite Jupiter, and Mars is in Scorpio. When you have Mars in Scorpio, that can be an energy of meanness. So it's an energy of possibly having experienced things in this lifetime or past lifetimes that were really difficult, really hurtful. It can have to do with fear. It can have to do with abandonment. So if you have Mars in Scorpio, this does not mean that you're a mean person. It means that perhaps you've experienced different kinds of chaos, or meanness, abandonment in your current life or in your past life. And so what we need to do is release that energy, because it's standing opposite Jupiter in Taurus, which means that this is an energy that's going to require compromise. We're going to need to heal the energies of fear and abandonment in order to enjoy the abundance that Jupiter and Taurus is actually offering. So there's an opportunity to stop and reflect here and ask ourselves, what are our goals? What are our goals? Because we have to have some kind of goal. It doesn't have to be very specifically defined. But the goals give us the opportunity to really understand, okay, where are we going? We don't want to get lost. So we do need to know in what direction we're walking, you know? And so that gives us form, that gives us structure. And how we fill it out, we can also figure out by doing. And so once we have a clear understanding of that, we can ask ourselves, what is the foundation around me? Is it set up to support me? Is it set up to support my goals? Or are there different aspects of my life, different aspects of my relationships, different aspects of my behavior toward myself that actually diminish these goals? Because then we need to let go of what is diminishing it, and we need to support and let grow what is actually encouraging it. So please take the time to reflect. There are worksheets available if you look in the description below. Take the time to reflect. We've all got to do the work. I would love to do it for you, but it's just not possible. We're all individuals living free will who truly have the power within us. And no one can really live and be all of the majesty of who you are like you can be it. And so sometimes we do have to stop, sidebar, take the time to really go within and heal this energy. And so I hope you will do that by really reflecting and allowing yourself to be supported through this, either through these videos or by reaching out for a birth chart reading, progressive reading, possibly even a solo return. Just really allow yourself to be supported. Give yourself an opportunity to understand, what are my talents? What are my gifts? What is it that I'm offering to the world? So that you can really give yourself that firm foundation you need in order to be creative and to release the Mars and Scorpio energy. Some people who have Mars and Scorpio in their birth chart might have even been spiritual healers in past lives, or people who were somehow ostracized for their very supernatural gifts, very strong intuition. And so people with Mars and Scorpio in their birth chart might even be afraid to live this particular gift. And now when I speak of Mars and Scorpio, this is the actual energy right now. Mars is actually in Scorpio right now. And so some of us may have different things coming up where we notice we might be afraid to take that leap. We might be afraid to do the thing that is actually considered to be going against cultural norms. But Pluto is coming into Aquarius. Pluto in Aquarius means throwing off conditioning, throwing off cultural norms, and really embracing the authenticity and the truth of who you are. And with Saturn in Pisces, we're really gonna want to be aware of our dreams, want to be aware of our goals, want to be aware of our spiritual gifts so that we can use them. Now, we're all a whole. And as soon as one of us is missing, the whole is no longer as strong as it could be. We need your gifts. We need your individuality. We need your authenticity. We don't need you to show up like somebody else. We don't need you to show up as a carbon copy of someone else. We need you to be you. As weird as it may sometimes seem, we need you exactly as you are. I know that I've had moments on my path where it's very clear to me, I'm not like most people. I'm very different. I listen to my intuition. Some might consider me impulsive. I do have Mercury in Aries, but I'm just following my intuition. And that's one thing I've always done, is just in the spaces where I've been able to, when I've been able to really give myself that, then I've really made an effort to listen to my intuition. It wasn't always possible. I went through phases of life where it was difficult to hear that voice. It was difficult to hear the voice of inner wisdom. There were situations around me that just made the outer noise too loud in order to hear the inner noise. But I just want to communicate to you that you're not alone. If you have moments like that where you're like, I know I've got inner wisdom, I know I've got intuition, I know I got great gifts to give, but I'm afraid. I can't hear that voice. I don't know the path. Then I want you to know there's help for you, and that we can go this path together step by step. It doesn't all have to happen at once. This is all a process. It's all a journey. The key is to enjoy it. The key is to be happy. The key is to laugh, to embrace hope. These are the things that are actually going to open the door to what it is that you want for yourself. So let's live that healthy warrior energy, because Mars and Scorpio isn't all negative energy. That's very powerful, very passionate energy, particularly in the space of inner power. So these are also going to be people who, not only just people, if you have Mars and Scorpio in your birth chart, but also the current energy on Earth, because of this Mars in Scorpio, is going to be an energy of passion, an energy of releasing trauma and discovering, the power within. It's going to be understanding that as a healthy warrior, we can use our energy to really cultivate the life that it is that we want to live. But first, we've got to give ourselves the opportunity to heal. So if you're asking yourself, why hasn't this crystallized for me? Why aren't the finances there? Why isn't the job there? Why isn't the clarity there? Sometimes it's because we first have to go through the fire. First have to have that volcanic experience where we're releasing what doesn't positively serve us, where we're doing some constructive destruction in order to release foundations that no longer serve us. We've got to sometimes empty ourselves or get rid of old foundations to make way for the new. In the tarot, it would be a tower moment. You got to get rid of those old towers, those old constructs that no longer serve us in order for the new to come in. So if you're holding on to trauma, if you're holding on to stories of abandonment, if you're holding on to, people don't do this, people don't do that. If you're holding on to this, then it could be causing blockages to what it is that you want to manifest. And there's nothing wrong with seeking help. There's nothing wrong with seeking professional help. I actually recommend it. Talking about yourself for an hour every week, who doesn't need that? I mean, that's luxury, So whatever you need to do to release that, consider that. Consider doing that. Consider taking action and moving towards healing, because healing is what's actually going to help you to pull in that abundance, the inner as well as the outer, as well as the financial, as well as the relationships, as well as romance. Healing is actually the key to all of those doors. So let's just make use of this time together in these videos to really reflect, to release. If there's something I can do or somehow make these richer for you, then please comment below. Please let me know. Like and subscribe so you don't miss a video, so that we can really go this path together step by step. But again, give me feedback, ask me questions, so that I can really make sure that I'm sharing with you what it is that's actually helping you, what is actually a gift to you. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so honored, and I'm looking forward to the next video.